From the War Memorial with Crunch forward Evan Rankin, one of the newer additions to the Crunch, and started your Crunch career with a bang, a couple of points in Binghamton. Tell me about the game and tell me about the goal.
Playing with guys like Tyrell and Angie, they make the game a little bit easier for me. So, it was just a good way to get, my career with the Crunch underway.
And obviously the Crunch losing on Saturday in Binghamton 4-3 in overtime. Try and go back this weekend against Rochester. That's your former team. Coming to the rivals, the enemy, just like Joey Mormina, two guys, big players on Crunch rivals. What brought you to the Crunch?
Just Syracuse is always one of those teams that you see at the end of the season. They're always fighting for the championship at the end of the year. And, from the outsider's perspective, it was just something that I wanted to be a part of. And, the fact that they recruited me out, it was just, I was really excited to become a part of this.
And the success, of course, Norfolk a couple years ago, the Crunch last year. Winning is part of it, but the Lightning organization specifically prides itself on bringing in character guys, and they consider you one of those. So what about your personality, your character, do you think was attractive to the Lightning?
I like to, I don't know, I'm a positive guy, I think, and, just as far as my hockey play, I think, I just like to work hard and find myself in some of the tough places that most people don't want to go, like the front of the net and the corners, but I think that, just from the Tampa Bay's perspective, I think that, it's just a positive thing to be a part of that organization, and the fact that they saw that in me as well.
You smile quite a bit, probably as much as anybody else on the Crunch roster right now, and that's saying something. But how does that relate to the younger guys? You've got a lot of rookies on this team, young guys. You've been in pro hockey for several years now. How do you think that attitude translates to the youngsters?
I think that, there's a balance. I think you need to make sure that you're coming to the rink every single day prepared. There's times that, you can have a big smile on your face and, goof around a little bit. But when you're on the ice and, coaches drawing up drills and stuff, it's go time. And I think for the young guys, that's something that we're still, we're getting a hang of. And being one of the older guys now, it's just something that you want to kind of portray to them where, you're starting a drill and you're showing the guys exactly what we need to be doing.
You, Dana Tyrell, Mike Angelidis, we mentioned that line, very successful, producing all the points in the game the other day in Binghamton. Dana had the 2 goals. Mike had a big turnover steal. To play with those guys, lots of pro experience on that line. When you're with those 2 guys, the chemistry that develops only through training camp and a little bit of practice, are you where you want to be, or is there more chemistry to be developed?
Obviously it is the start of the season, and to see success right away, it's an extremely positive thing. So, obviously you always want to keep doing more, and you expect more. So, as a line, I think that there's a lot of positive to come, and I think we're all guys that want to work hard. So, it really is helping attribute to our team offense.
And with some changes in the lines in the last few days in practice, that line with yourself, along with Dana Tyrell, Mike Angelidis, will remain together. Let's take a step back, though, because you've been in pro hockey for a few years. After your career at Notre Dame, undrafted, you go to the CHL. Where you are now with this organization, looking back on the last several years, CHL, ECHL, Rochester in the American League the last couple of years, are you happy with the way things have progressed? Could you have imagined the way things would go when you were coming out of Notre Dame?
Yeah, it's very surreal to kind of be sitting in this seat now, and even at Tampa Bay's camp, and I'm sitting next to Cooper, who was my coach when I was 16, 17 years old. It's kind of funny because who would imagine 10 years later that both of us would be sitting on that same bench. Obviously, I'm in the AHL, so I still feel that there's room to grow. Every single player that's in this locker room has the goal of being in the NHL, and I'm definitely one of them. And it's just a matter of making sure that you're doing the little things right and paying the price to hopefully get there one day.
And to be in Tampa Bay Lightning's training camp, never having been in Tampa Bay or any other NHL training camp before, what did that experience mean to you now? What do you think that means in your development?
The fact that they recruited me to go to the camp says something to me on a personal level, and it's something that you take with a grain of salt. You're excited to be there, but at the end of the day, I don't think anybody that's there is going to be happy until they're underneath the Stanley Cup. And it may be cheesy to say, but truthfully, I think that's every player's goal, is to get there one day. And I'm just excited for every day up till whatever comes, right?
And you've got several guys on the Lightning roster now who produced a lot of points the last couple of years with both Norfolk and Syracuse. And then the next step for them would, of course, be winning the Stanley Cup. But there is that Calder Cup here in the American Hockey League. And the next step towards that will be this weekend. Rochester Saturday, Wilkes-Barre on Sunday. But it's your former mates, at least some of them, over in Rochester. What do we expect from the Amherst? What it'll be like for you to play against them on Saturday?
You know, obviously I do have a lot of old friends and relationships there, and you know, they are a hardworking team. They're very skilled, and it's going to be different being on this side of the puck this year. And
is there a reputation that the Amhersts have of the Crunch, a sense of that rivalry? I
mean, you just know when you play the Crunch that they're gonna bring everything they have every single night. You knew what you were going to get. And I mean, I'm excited to be a part of that, you know, that hardworking offense that the Crunch always had year after year. And yeah, I'm excited for the game.
There's going to be a couple of banners raised right behind us here on Saturday night. Yeah. You'll look up during that ceremony and think about what you hope to achieve. Does this group have what it takes to get back to where the Crunch were last season?
Oh, I definitely think we do. And you know, obviously there's a lot of the great core of this team is the leadership and guys like Angie and Mormina, and it's cool to be on this side of the fence where, you know, you're a part of the team that's raising the banner. You know, not that I was here last year, but you know, I would have been the team that's watching again, you know, and it's going to be an interesting year to hopefully achieve even better and win a Calder Cup.
Perhaps some motivation to get that Calder Cup banner raised a year from now. Well, Evan Rankin, thanks very much for your time. Good luck against Rochester this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
With Evan Rankin, I'm Dan Duva.